Hi, in this video we'll be continuing with the C# video tutorials. So in this video we'll be going over the for each loop. So you've already done this in the notes, we'll probably just review it again. So we've done this general notation already. We'll just practice it again. So I'm in Rider 2023 now rather than 2022. So I have like 300 videos to upload. Hopefully I don't run out of space. So here we have, for example, this is the general. What the hell is that? Okay, so this is just a general notation. It's for each. So there's for each. That's one word. It's a keyword, or it's a reserved word in C#. So for each, here we'll say type variable name. For each type variable name in array name. So for each type variable name in array name. And here we'll have statement, whatever, statement, code, whatever. No, what? Oh, okay. So statement, like a code statement, whatever. Like instead of that, let me just go with code. So that's the notation. So for example, we go for each type. So for example, we go for each int I in array. It's gonna iterate through them. So it's kind of tricky. So here we have. So let's pretend we have an array here. So we could use an initializing list. So we could say int array points to some values. Then in the constructor we could say for each we could say int in array. Then we could say, so basically it's going to iterate through each index here. It's a little tricky. You might have to walk through this. Well, let's do that. Okay, so we'll have here message box dot show, and here we'll say I dot toString. I don't think we really need. Well, maybe we should. So let's put a breakpoint here. So for each int I in array, then message box dot show I dot toString. So we'll just save that. Click the debug icon. Let's just let that load for a sec. Alright, sorry, this thing is still. It's the first time I'm turning on the debugger since I installed Rider, because if you saw the last few videos, I had some trouble when I tried to make some space on my PC. Everything got, like the SDK got removed somehow, and it wasn't installing, and it wasn't even updating, nothing. So I had to figure it out. It took me several hours today. Okay, so what the hell is all this stuff? Debug, where's the buttons? This looks a little different. It looks like Rider 2023 is a little bit different looking than 2022. Or it could just be the high contrast. Could be the high contrast. Let me switch out of the high contrast. Let me go to settings. Actually, not a bad. It's just green and blue. Let's just try the rider theme. I don't think it's any better than that. So go to rider. I'll just switch to one of the built-in ones. Rider melon. What's melon? Rider dark. The light one gives me a headache. It's exactly the same, isn't it? Let's just try it. So debug, I'm going to click the debug icon. It changed from gray, the background changed from gray to black, I think. From black to gray. That's the only difference. It's the exact same thing. I think the other one's actually better, so let's just go with high contrast. That purple theme's pretty good, but the comments are hard to see. Okay, so we'll go here with high contrast. Save. Okay, so here we'll go with, where's the buttons? Step in, step out. Okay. What do we have here for variables? Nothing. Where's our array? Step in. This. What the heck is all this stuff? Okay, that's what to do with the form. If we can actually get into this. Oh, you know what? I think it's waiting for me to click. No, maybe not. Something wrong with this? Problems? Nope. Threads. Main thread and a random thread. Okay, we're going to be in the main thread. New form. There we go. I saw it. I saw some variables there. What is this called? Array. Okay, let's go to A. It's all this crap at the bottom. AC. AU. Oh, looks like it skipped. ALL. AU. Went from A N to AU. Okay, so it's not there. Not this again. Had this trouble last time. It's not even getting into the loop right now. Not sure why. Step into. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, finally. Where are those variables? There we go. We got I. Where's our array? Does it not show globals? Okay, let me stop that. I know C didn't show globals in the debugger, so that was kind of annoying. We have this form here, so we'll just step into this, whatever we have now. Okay, I think it initialized the elements there. It's not showing us the array. So we'll step in here. Step over. Looks like an index got skipped. Why is that? Okay, we got a 1. Step over, we got 2. Yeah, it popped up on the screen. So the array's not showing up. Why did it skip an index though? That's what I'm curious about. I is 3. Okay. Well, for each loops in C# don't start at 0. They start at, it starts your I at 1. Rather, that's what's different than a normal for loop. So message box.show. I might have some information on that in the docs here. So we'll just, it's not even showing us the array, probably because it's global. That might be the reason. That's kind of dumb. I don't think C# shows global variables in the, let me just test that. Let's go with the string str points to test. Private string str points to test. Okay, that should be fine. We'll debug that. If it doesn't pop up, then C# doesn't show global variables in the debugger, which is just crap. Java does. Java shows your global variables in the debugger. Python doesn't. I don't really believe it shows fields in the debugger either, like global variables. Okay, so for each I in int I in array. So we'll step in. It's initializing the array. Okay, this time it started at 0. Nope, it skipped from 0 to 1. Okay, so not sure why I did that. Now we can see string test. It's not showing globals. So we'll just leave it at that for now. So it went from 1 to 3. It iterated from 1 to 3. Because the numbers array has 3 elements, this loop will iterate 3 times. The first time it iterates, val will contain the value of so array is called array. Okay, so for int I in array, so the first time. So the first time it iterates, val will contain the okay, is that why 1, 2, 3? Okay, you know what? The reason why I doesn't print out. Okay, I think I know why. Let's go here with it didn't show the actual numbers, so let's just change these. So I believe it's actually storing the value in here. So 24, 12, and let's go with 10. So we'll save that. One more time, we'll debug it. So this is so in the docs it says that because the numbers are because the array has 3 elements, the loop will iterate 3 times. The first time it iterates, I will contain the value of array index 0, so message box will display the value, for example, 24. During the second iteration, I will contain the value. Okay, so I stores in a for each array. Apologize about that, so if I confuse anyone. So so for I in array, I's can actually point to the elements rather than the index. So during the third iteration, I don't really use for each loops that much. I usually just stick with the for loop. For each, it's also in Java. It's the same idea. So during the third iteration, I should be 10. So let's just double check that. So we'll step in, even though we can't actually see the array because that's Microsoft developers decided to not show globals in the debugger. So we'll step in at some point. You can see that the line of execution is at this blue line. Okay, here we go. So I starting out at 24 for, it's not showing us the other, it's not showing us like the normal I. You know what? It could be because the value is, we're changing I here. So let's just try to use the word val just in case it wants to show us that I is 0. So we'll save that and debug it. So for each int val in array, step in. Whoops, this should be val.toString. Sorry about that. This is looking more like IntelliJ now. Why is that? Looks a lot better than normal. Well, actually, well, not that great, but it's okay. It looks more like IntelliJ now, though. I think IntelliJ looked a little better than this. Okay, so we have for each int val in array, we'll step in. Says val is pointing to 0. Now it's stepping into the block. Now it's saying that val points to 24. Message box.show. I'll step over. 24 popped up on the screen. You can't see that. Bottom of the loop. It's going to loop back up to the top. Step in. Val now points to step in. 12. So pointing to the second value. So val points to each piece of data in the array, or each index. So it starts at 0 and it goes slowly till the end of the array index. So 12 we have. Then now we'll step in again. Lost the mouse somewhere. Okay, step in. We're gonna step over this. 12 popped up on the screen in a message box, dialog box. Step into for each int val in array. Step in. There we got 10, the last value. Step over. 10. Done. Step in. It should exit the loop. It's going to check the condition and then it's going to see that there's no more elements. Done. Stop. Okay. So now we cleared that up. So the for each loop versus the for loop. I think we've already talked about this earlier on. We need to read the values that are stored in an array from the first element to the last element. The for each loop is simpler to use than the for loop. So with the for each loop, you do not have to be concerned about the size of the array, and you do not have to create a counter variable to hold subscripts. However, because the iteration variable is read-only, there are circumstances in which the for each loop is not adequate. You cannot use a for each loop if you need to do any of the following: change the contents of an array element, work through the array elements in reverse order, access some but not all of the array elements, and simultaneously work with 2 or more arrays within the loop. So it has its ups and downs. I'd say downs. I'd just stick with the normal for loop. The thing is, they test you on the for each loop, and I've gotten tested on this in Java and C#. Every time you get tested on it, they want to see if you can know the difference of them and explain the differences and show the differences in code and everything. Tell you the differences, similarities, everything. In any of these circumstances, you should use the for loop to process the array. So they're saying to stick to the for loop. So reassigning an array reference variable. It is possible to reassign an array reference variable to a different array. So we could have, for example, let's try this example here. we'll just finish up with this last bit here. So how much more do we have here? Let me just see. Okay, we're about done. Last part. Till we move on to working with files and arrays, like doing the labs for those. So I think we did a lab earlier on, did we not? Maybe not. Okay, so that was the last video. Okay, so we have here int array. Let's go with here private int array numbers points to new int. Let's just pass in 6 as a parameter to the array, or 6 elements. So here we can say numbers. What's wrong with that? Private int array numbers wants a new int of array index 6 elements. So here we'll say numbers. Oh, sorry, it's a field, that's why. So down in the constructor, then here we'll say numbers points to new int of array index 3. Okay, so you can reassign numbers to be smaller. So it is possible to reassign an array reference variable to a different array. So basically we're instantiating a new object. That can be tricky. So the statement in line 2 creates a 6, so this will cause data loss. So the statement in line 2 creates a 6 element int array. A reference to the array is assigned by the numbers variable. Okay, so pretend we have a box with an arrow. So this box is a variable named numbers. It's pointing to a block of 6 blocks in a row. Array, so it's pointing to an array that can hold 6 int values. So then the statement executes after, so it creates a new 3 element int array. So that's this. What the heck happened here? Sorry about that. Oh wow, I think my hand was on this the whole time. Someone was like watching that, like, what the hell is he doing? So what's he smoking? My bad. Okay, so we have private int array numbers points a new int of 6 elements here. Then here in this line we're saying numbers points a new int of 3 elements. Therefore it just cuts that block in half. So a reference to the new array is assigned to the numbers variable. So let me just see what line. Okay. So when we call this line here, numbers points to new int of array of an array index 3 size. Then a reference to the new array is assigned to the numbers variable. So when that line executes, sorry, this one here, numbers points to new int of array index size 3. This reference that is currently stored in the numbers variable will be replaced by a reference to the 3 element array. So after this statement executes, the numbers variable will reference the 3 element array instead of the 6 element array. So this causes data loss once again, so just be careful. So the 6 element array still exists in memory, but it is no longer referenced by any variables. Because it is no longer referenced, it cannot be accessed. When an object is no longer referenced, it becomes eligible for garbage collection. So garbage collection is the process that periodically runs, removing all unreferenced objects from memory. So you will get tested on that. That's also in Java. That's in C# as well. It's the exact same concept. So let's just make a note of that here. So So we'll just have a note here. I'm not sure if we talked about it too much. I may have referenced it a few times, so we'll just say here garbage collection is a process that runs, well, that periodically runs, removing all unreferenced objects from memory. Whoops. So garbage collection is a process that periodically runs, removing all objects from memory. Sorry, they're removing all unreferenced objects. So garbage collection is a process that periodically runs, removing all unreferenced objects from memory. So if you have like a variable that you're not using, then this garbage collection will just basically just take it out, like an old object reference or something. So that would kind of be like this one here. Private int array numbers points a new int of array index 6. It's giving us a warning here. It's saying, if I can find that, problems. What line is that? Line 17. Name numbers does not match role instance fields. Private suggested is numbers. Okay, that's not it. Alright, so that's alright. So that's pretty much it. So that's garbage collection. We got the for each loop, a little bit of differences of how it differs between the for loop. So probably just end it there. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys liked the video, you can like and subscribe to support the channel for more programming and investing tutorials. In the next video, we'll be going over working with files and arrays in C#. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. Take care.